All right. Today's installment is going to be discussing density. So, one of the things that we need to be aware of when dealing with density is the fact that we are going to be dealing with three different variables: D for density, M for mass, and V for volume. So, the equation or formula necessary to solve for density will be D equals M over V. And quite often, you're not going to be given just mass or just volume. You may have to solve for mass or solve for volume. So, one of the things that I like to encourage is remembering Erica's light bulb moments. So, if we were to go ahead and want to turn this into a light bulb moment, we have a triangle divided into three sections. The place that we get our driver's license is the DMV. So we're going to fill in each section going in that order from bottom left, go up and back down. So DMV. So if you're solving for one particular variable, all you would need to do is cover that up and you would see the equation. So to solve for density, mass over volume. So as we know from algebra, anything that is on top of each other would require us to divide. If we needed to solve for mass and we were given density and volume, cover up M, and we see that we would multiply density and volume to determine the mass of that particular substance. And just the same as we did with density, if we needed to solve for volume, cover up V, and you are now left with M over D, or mass over density. So then you would have the three different equations necessary or derivatives of that formula. So let's go ahead and apply this formula to an example. So here we have, what is the density of a substance with a mass of 4.78 grams and a volume of 60 milliliters? So for those of you who have watched many of my videos in the past, we start off with our shopping list. Dealing with density, we have those three variables. So we would need to go ahead and write those out. What is the density? So we know that is the question in which we are answering. All right, if we continue to read with a mass of, so we can go ahead and fill that in our shopping list. Always remembering to write our unit, and a volume of 60 milliliters. All right. So now that we have our shopping list, we can go back to either our formula and find the derivatives or use our triangle. So in this case, I'll use the triangle since it's a little more visual for some of our visual learners. Cover up that D, and just like the formula tells us, we need to divide our mass by our volume. Always start by writing your base formula so that you remember what you are solving with, and then what we call plug and chug. So we can go ahead and fill in for our M, which is 4.78 grams. We could then place our division sign and place our volume figures, which would be 60 mLs. Now we are able to go ahead and utilize that very easy or very inexpensive calculator, just a $1 calculator from your local Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, what have you. So you would go ahead and divide 4.78 by 60, which is going to yield you 0.0796, repeating. So let's go ahead and practice rounding this particular answer to the nearest hundredths place. So we know our first place here is tenths. This is our hundredths. So this is where we're rounding to. So we would look at the number directly next to it. Anything under 5, we round down. Anything over 5, we round up. So here we have 9, which is definitely higher than 5. So we're going to end up rounding up to 0.08. And the unit for density is going to be grams over mLs. And there is your final answer. So I hope this was helpful in figuring out how to best set up and start your density problems. Always remember, any light bulb moments you see are there for your learning and to make it a little bit easier for you. So much like any other time, good luck and happy studying.